Hello, everyone, and welcome to Love as We Know It. I'm Bay.
I'm L.
And we are just two women here to talk about life, love, and everything in between. So today's episode is going to be about long distance and how to make long distance work, because it is definitely a struggle.
Very big struggle.
More so in this relationship for Ella. Or
you just now put me on blast. You just blasted me without letting me, just indirectly. I don't even know.
So you guys will hear me oftentimes call her by her full name,
which is disrespectful because my name is L on this show.
And so the thing is that I love her name. I think it's such a beautiful name. And so it's very hard for me not to say it because it is. It's a beautiful name. And prior to me meeting her, if I had a daughter, I planned on naming her name. And so it's hard for me not to call her by her name because it's so pretty.
Well, I don't even know your name. That's why I just call you Bae.
She almost never, ever, ever says my name.
Unless something's wrong or I'm upset.
So most people actually don't call her by her name. I won't say what they call her.
Yeah,
because I think she would feel some
You better not say what they call me.
It's actually not a bad name at all. It's
Whatever.
Super cute.
Whatever.
It's super, super, super cute.
Super, super, super lame. It's my childhood name, though.
It is.
I embrace it when I'm home only. And it is what it is.
Maybe one day I can say it. It's not like they would never know your real name anyway.
I don't want them to know. Y'all don't need to know all that. You do not. L. Don't even listen to what she called me. Call me L. That's all I want.
She wasn't saying nothing when I was saying her name last night.
Right?
So it's like selective.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry, babe. I forgot about the girl.
It's selective.
Yeah, it just depends on when and how. But she says my name a whole lot compared to me ever saying her name.
Literally the only time she says my name, she says it all the way through. The entire government name. And she only says it when she's trying to get my attention.
Yeah, because they be ignoring me. But that's a whole nother segment. So this distance thing, I think when it comes to long distance relationships, you have to be creative. You just can't go with the basics. Oh, let me FaceTime you. Let me text you. You can't go with the basics. You got to kind of step outside of the box. And I think me and Bae do an amazing job with stepping outside the box. I think when it comes to communication, we really don't have any limits. Like, we go to the movies together. I know that sounds crazy, but we go to the movies together. We look up movie times, find a movie that starts at the same time or kind of staggered, and we go to movies together. We go out on dinner dates together. We hadn't had one in a while because we've been together. So once we get back into the swing of things, we'll be going to our dinner dates together. We arrive at the restaurant. We sit down. We order at the same time. And we FaceTime. We talk. What else we do, babe? We movie nights on. So it's an app. No, it's a program called Zoom. So we watch different church sermons on Zoom. We watch YouTube videos on Zoom. We tried to watch. We watch OWN. Yeah, we watch OWN. What's the name of the show, babe?
Black Love.
Black Love.
And then
I better watch that.
Family or Fiance.
Yeah, Family or Fiance. So those are like one of the two key shows that we watch on Zoom. And Zoom kind of facilitates an environment that you can communicate from a distance. I can see her screen. She can see my screen. We can share screens. So those are like a variety of creative ways. And I'm sure Babe has some other things that we do But those things keep me grounded because she always says that I'm the one. You're right. It is me. It's me. It's me. It's me. And I'm good with that. But
that used to be my jam as a kid.
But it is. It's definitely me. I love the fact that babe, oh my god. It's me, it's me, it's me, oh Lord.
I cannot stop laughing. I'm sorry.
Oh god.
Man.
So we are definitely creative, but I have to have that. We did our love languages, and quality time is very high on my list.
It's
number
high on
one.
both of ours. Quality time was both of our number one.
Yeah, both our number one. So
it's interesting. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, babe.
It's interesting because quality time was both of our number ones, but what quality time means to each of us is very different.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So that was one thing that we learned in the relationship is that you can test high or have a number one that's the exact same as somebody else's number one, but what it means to each person is totally different.
Oh, yeah.
And so initially when we scored it, and we both came out quality time as our number one, I'm thinking, oh, okay, we good. We
right.
good. She's just like me, but no.
Yeah.
She's totally different than I am. Now, I'm not going to lie. All the things that we do from a distance, I need it too.
Yeah.
I need to spend that time with her. Excuse me. But school, it just makes it a little more difficult to be able to do that. But it's all that we have. So like she said, just to go into a little more detail, when we meet up for a movie night, if we're actually going out to the movies, we get pretty lucky where we can find a movie that's starting at the same time.
Yep.
And we'll be in there and excuse me, sorry, it's morning voice and it's got me all.
And I love it.
Whatever.
Good evening.
So we'll be in there and we'll text each other. We turn our screen lights all the way down so it's not a distraction of the people, but we watch the movie together and we'll text each other on the movie.
Yeah.
When we go out to eat, sometimes it's to breakfast, sometimes it's to dinner, it's wherever, and we pick the same restaurant, or if it's like a local restaurant, we pick one that's very similar to the one that the other person is at.
Yeah.
And we get there at the same time, we FaceTime, and we have our date night together. And when we watch our movies, it's the same thing. I mean, we've even gone as far, not even just using Zoom, where we've had like 2 laptops set up back to back, where one, the camera is facing another laptop that's actually playing the movie.
Yeah.
And we usually have to do that for Netflix because Zoom won't let you Zoom Netflix, where you can watch the screen and see the other person's screen while on Netflix. So we usually kind of have to set our cameras up like that, and then we watch a movie together, and it's even where it doesn't stop there. So for Elle, she does best when she's sleeping with another person. She needs that connection. She needs that one-on-one time.
Can I say something?
What?
So before I met Babe, I was addicted to ZQL, right? I couldn't go to sleep for whatever reason, because I couldn't go to sleep. I don't know why. So I would take ZQL every night. And when I met her, she said, that's not healthy. We got to find ways to get you back on track with sleep. So we started FaceTiming overnight. And when I tell you, even if I don't FaceTime her overnight, I sleep. So she broke me from that. I don't know if it was a mental thing. I don't know what it was, but we FaceTime, and I like to hear her snore overnight.
Also like that though.
Yeah, she don't snore
over
like
here.
that.
Sound like I'm a bear or something.
And then I feel more secure because if something happens, I can hear it. I know where she at. I know how to get somebody to her. So we do a lot of things that Babe wasn't accustomed to doing, that I never thought that she would do, that we do. And very appreciative, of those moments.
So, like, even with the Z-Call thing, and we were trying to figure out how to get her off, it wasn't just like, boom, we knew what to do to get her off.
Yeah.
It wasn't any of that. We actually didn't even know what it would take to get her off until the very first time we met each other. And when we met, we spent those 4 days together, and we slept in the hotel together.
That was some good sleep.
Yeah, she had like the best sleep she had in a long time without using it, and we realized she did better when she had someone there. So we were kind of talking and brainstorming, and then she was like, what do you think if we try FaceTiming overnight and see how that works? And we tried it, and she slept amazing. You know, I take my tablet and I put it next to me in the bed, and she takes hers and she sets it up right next to her bed, and we just kind of sit there and we talk. We go to bed at the same time, so it works out. We have the 2 hour difference, and I'm ahead, so I go to bed at 10. She goes to bed at 8.
I'm old.
She really
I've
is.
I've always went to bed early. I need my rest.
And she's up at like 3:30 in the morning. So that's just how she's always been. And so with the distance, that's what we do. And surprisingly, you know, I don't need that for me to be able to sleep, but it comforts me. And you wouldn't think that just having somebody on the other side would be something that's comforting, but it's comforting.
Very much so.
We even have pillow talk moments.
Oh, yeah.
While on FaceTime.
Yeah. I'm like, babe, you up? Babe. If she ain't up, she's like, no, I'm sleeping. Okay, babe.
No, that's when I get my whole name. Like, let us. So I'm gonna put this out there real quick.
Tell them your whole
I'm
name.
a person who needs, you know, I need time if we're in conflict. Okay. I need a little time because I need to be able to process and sort through everything that happened. You know, I can't usually typically talk about something outright.
I can.
Where Elle, she needs to be able to talk about it right away.
Right now.
And so say something happened like just before we were going to bed.
It's my money and I want it
now. Right. That's exactly how she is. And so she will give me till at least 5:30 in the morning my time.
Big facts.
Before she wakes me up.
It's a new day.
Like, babe, are you up? I'm not up. I'm asleep. Babe, are you up? And I'm usually a really, really light sleeper. So if I don't hear her, I get my full government name. And then she'll say it aggressive in her drill sergeant voice. And
really, babe? Oh my God.
And then I'll wake up. And then she'll be like, oh, are you awake? Oh, well, I am now. So clearly, if basically what she's saying to me is if I'm up, you're up. So let's talk about this now. And that's her way of getting me to talk about stuff.
In my defense, I am a traditional lesbian, right? Let me tell you about this traditional lesbian thing. This is a title that I hold near and dear to my heart. I do not, and this has nothing to do with a traditional lesbian. I just wanted to say that. I cannot lay my head down upset.
She can't.
I cannot lay my head down without saying good night and I love you. I'll do it, but I don't want to do it. If you tell me we're going to talk in the morning, as soon as daybreak, guess what I want us to be doing? Talking. So those moments are a little selfish of me, but Babe is learning how I am, and I'm learning that she needs that space. And that's difficult for a person that likes immediate results. And that's me. Like, I want them right now. So I'm learning to compromise with her because she needs that processing time. And I'm not accustomed to being with someone who needs to process. I'm accustomed to what you see is what you get. Take that, you know. So I gotta respect her space and respect her time. And it has definitely been a learning process for me, but everything gets better with time. So That's my 2 cents. I forgot what we was talking about.
We're talking about
Oh
distance.
yeah,
You
but
know, and that conversation, actually, what she just brought up really is a great topic for another time, is working through those communication differences,
yeah.
especially when it comes to resolving conflict.
Oh yeah.
Because that was one thing that it took us a while to kind of get down, and not necessarily because, you know, we had huge struggles within communication. We both just communicated differently.
Yeah.
And we we've gotten it together quite a bit. There's still a little work.
Still
I
need
think
work.
communication never learning how to communicate never stops. It's something that you constantly have to work on. But we've gotten it down very, very well. Um, as Ella always says, I always thought I was a great communicator till I met you, and I realized I couldn't communicate.
Yo, that is so true. I didn't realize how broken my communication was. Like, I've never, and I guess it'll just tell you the type of women that I surrounded myself with, but I never had to articulate how I really felt or why I was feeling this way or my approach in my feelings. Like, I've never had to do any of that. Pretty much is, I'm feeling like this and this is how you getting it. And obviously I was dealing with children and now I have a whole woman in my life. So I am very grateful that it's a teaching moment with me and Babe. And I tell her all the time, I don't want you to be my teacher, but at the same time, she's helping me. She's helping me not only in our relationship, but she's helping me as a future doctor. I can't be out there not knowing how to communicate. A whole doctor, that's disrespectful. So I think, not only is she grooming me in our relationship, but she's grooming me for my future career outside of the military as well. So it's it's a slow process, but I see that my efforts aren't going unnoticed. Like, Babe noticed when I do something differently or I'm changing in a certain way that's positive, that's beneficial to our relationship. And I really appreciate the fact that she acknowledged those small changes in me and she sees that I'm trying. And I think as long as she sees that, we're good to hook. Good to hook.
Yeah, our biggest thing was is and that's why I think it's so important that you take time when you're in those heated moments and you're angry to kind of reflect and think about things. Don't talk while you're super emotional. It's okay to take a moment to get your feelings under control, because words mean something.
Yeah.
Your word choice means something. The tone in which you say it means everything means something. So I think it's very important to kind of take a moment and really reflect once your emotion has kind of resolved some, and you can think with a much clearer mind to come back and address the situation. Like, I don't believe in name calling. I don't believe we should be yelling. I don't think we should be doing any of that. We're two grown adults, and if we have a disagreement or something that, we're at odds with, we should be able to sit down and have a conversation about it. We can't resolve anything if someone is using attacking words or an attacking tone or raising their voice, because once that wall comes up, it's more so, I need you to understand and hear my point. I'm not really trying to hear what you have to say, and you can't resolve anything that way. So I believe in taking a moment to really think about things and look at things from your point of view, the other person's point of view, and just really look at the entire situation as a whole, and just to give yourself some clarity before you address something. And so that's probably the biggest thing that I guess Elle would have struggled with, is just taking the time to really reflect. Just because you're taking time prior to addressing the situation doesn't mean you're minimizing it. It doesn't mean you're tossing it to the side. It just means that you're preparing yourself for this conversation. And I think that that's really important to do, especially when you're having a conversation that's maybe a sensitive topic or something that's very heated, and you're having this conversation with someone that you love. Because once you say something or you do something, you cannot take that back.
And to tie that into long distance relationships is that sometimes your words can get misconstrued. It's been several times that me and Babe are having a discussion and she's like, let me call you because I don't want this to be taken the wrong way. So those are things that you have to be aware of as well. How texts come over, or tones on the phone, or whatever you got to do to kind of work through the situation. But text is definitely not the go to, in my opinion, because now I'm trying to guess her tone in this message, and it's probably not even that. And with Baby, it's so hard for me sometimes because she's so bubbly, but her tone, like when she's not bubbly, it's like it's kind of hard to gauge from serious to I'm mad as hell. The only one that ain't hard to gauge is bubbly. But the other two, they're a little confusing. So sometimes, I have to ask for clarification or learn how to ask for clarification. Or she'll be like, hey, let me call you because this could go left quick. So those are just things to be aware of when communicating in long distance relationships. I think it's very important. And like I said, text message is definitely not the go-to. It's convenient, though. Shoot that quick text, but I think that's the convenience of it, a quick text, not a long, drawn-out paragraph like I like to do about how I feel, and I don't say it's something crazy, and now we got to have a whole conversation just because of how I worded things. So,
I do. I know sometimes when we're upset, I mean, as people, we want to shoot a quick text, but you have to know when text messaging is not appropriate, because when I tell you, I think there's so many unnecessary arguments that happen as a result of texting someone something that you should have said to them verbally over the phone.
yeah.
And we all make that mistake, even I do. But the moment you realize, this is probably a conversation I should be having over the phone, or at least when the other person can see my face, is really important.
Yeah.
Because it will save you a lot of heartache and pain in the end.
I agree.
But one of the other things that we do for our long distance relationship is we have bond touch bracelets.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the
I'm
bond
surprised because she be on me about these bond touch. Babe, you got your bracelet?
Yep.
Babe, you got your bracelet?
Big
Don't
facts.
let me not have my bracelet on. So
Right.
bond touch bracelet, what it is we have these two bracelets. If you've never heard of them before, the two bracelets, and the bracelets are joined together, and one person gets one and the other person gets one, and they literally can work anywhere in the world, any distance, just as long as it's connected to your phone and there's some sort of Bluetooth connection, or you're connected to the internet, or just your normal phone plan internet thingy. I can't think of the word.
No, you
now.
good, but it's the Bluetooth. So as long as you have your Bluetooth on, your bracelet will work, as well as your internet connection.
Right. You have to have that. You have to have both things in place. And so what it is I can send touches to her through my bracelet. And so any sort of sequence of vibration that I want to send to her, I tap my bracelet in that way, and then it sends that same vibration pattern to her, and she gets it. Now I can choose her color that I want her bracelet to light up as. She chooses mine, and then on the app there's a picture that she's chosen for her icon, and then there's a picture I've chosen for my icon. And then through the app you also can set the date for the next time that you're going to be seeing each other, and it gives you a countdown towards that date, so you kind of have something to look forward to. And we wear these bracelets every day. We don't sleep in them, but we wear them every day. And what I like about it is because when I'm in the process of seeing patients, and I'm doing it's funny. So when I'm in the process of seeing patients and I can't necessarily get to my phone, and I know that she might be thinking about me because she likes to hear from me pretty consistently, I'll just shoot her a couple touches from my bracelet, and it works amazing because my patients have no idea that I'm even sending her this message or anything like that when I do touch my bracelet. Now, Ella, so...
Babe, tell them about that.
There was one time, this is no joke, it was so comical. Now, normally when Elle sends me touches, right, they're like real kind of quick vibrations. I tend to send really long vibrations, right? So There is one time I am doing a pelvic exam on this lady, and I wear my bracelet on my right arm. We both wear it on our right arm. And I was, I had my fingers in her vagina because I was checking her cervix at the time. And Elle sends me this super long vibration touch at the same time. So I have my fingers in this lady's vagina. My wrist is kind of up against her thigh. And then my bracelet starts vibrating like crazy. And it's long. And I just looked at her and I said, ma'am, I'm so sorry. My wrist is vibrating. I was like, I can't do anything about it. I'm so sorry. Oh God, I felt like such a perv. And the lady was like, it's okay. Just keep going.
Nasty.
Oh God. And I laughed. We all laughed. And so it was so comical. But I was like, what are the odds my bracelet would be vibrating at this very moment? And I was just like, hey, it is what it is. We can let it go.
Oh man.
But it's those are all the little things that we do that help us to kind of keep the relationship going at a distance. And those little things, they matter and they're important. And we make sure if we realize one of us gets too caught up in work or school, because that's probably our biggest thing, is that we both are so goal oriented that we'll get super caught up in work, super caught up in school, and we'll kind of not realize that we're not doing what we normally do. And one of us will catch it. Yeah. And we'll be like, hey, you know, we haven't gone on a date in a while. Yeah. Or we haven't done this in a while. So I believe as many things as you can incorporate at a distance that you would be doing in person, that's what you should be doing.
A road trip Q&As when you're on the road.
Yeah, she has these Q&A cards too that she bought that are they just ask questions to couples and kind of open up dialogue for you to have certain conversations. Yeah. And so we do that sometimes too. And
when you I think in the beginning when we first met, Babe loves to drive.
I do.
So I didn't really sleep well while she was on the road. So that would be my time to stay up with her and ask her anything I wanted to know about her. So that kind of gave us an opportunity to know different things about each other as well. So it was no limits. I could ask her whatever. She was on the road for 12, 16, 17 hours. And we would just stay up, and she'd be like, babe, take a nap. I'll take a nap. I wake up. She's still on the road. So we just take advantage of all moments that we can communicate and learn something new about each other. And
all the time.
Yeah.
And we still are constantly learning something new about each other. Yeah. But don't forget to date.
Oh, yeah.
From a distance. There's so many ways to date from a distance. Figure out what works for you. Take the time to encourage each other, be there for each other, support each other. Recognize that when you're trying to make distance work, there's going to be things that you need that the other person doesn't necessarily need, and vice versa. And you have to be willing to bend for each other.
Oh, yeah.
Because you need to find that common ground that makes things work. You cannot be selfish in a distance relationship. There is no way a long distance relationship can work if someone is selfish or not giving the other person what they need. And I would say probably the biggest thing that works for us is the trust factor.
Yeah.
Our trust level with each other is so extremely high.
Yep.
Like super, super, super high. If we're not hearing from each other, we're not thinking ever that somebody else is out there doing something they shouldn't be doing. We never think like that ever. Not. We're thinking maybe something might have happened. Maybe they're busy at work. Yep. Maybe they're kind of caught up in something. Maybe the phone died. Never once have we ever thought that the other person is cheating. And that's just because we have an extreme amount of trust between each other.
And it's important.
It's super important. And I think the only reason why we have that is because we started our relationship out with a ton of transparency.
Oh, yeah.
And we volunteered things and told things to each other that she would have had no idea that that was going on with me. And I would have had no idea that that was going on with her.
Yep.
And we shared it when we didn't have to. Like even when I talked before about that 3-minute 10-second video that she left me telling me about the female that she was seeing. I never would have known anything about that female, but she told me, and it's amazing being in a relationship with someone that you can trust. Because distance is hard enough. Now you add in some
insecurities
and some trust issues.
I'll never go to sleep.
And it just makes it 10 times worse. But we do what it takes to make it work,
We do.
And it works.
It definitely does. It definitely does. So at the end of the day, what you put in is what you get out. That's like the key to success right there. What you put in is what you get out. If you want your relationship to work, then you need to go to the extremes to make your relationship work. And it's tough. If it was up to me, I would see babe about 3 times a month. But we've narrowed it down to 1 time a month. But we have periods to where, like, I've been with her about 15 days now.
This is the longest.
Yeah, I've been with babe about 15 days now. Before that, I think it was like 10 days. So
yeah, this is the longest we've been together consistently. Consistent days in a row is 15 days. And a lot of people would question us getting married, never having lived together consistently or been around each other consistently, because we've always been at a distance. But I have so much confidence and faith when it comes to marrying Ella, and just in what God has shown both of us.
Oh yeah.
Really, honestly. And I am not worried one bit about the adjustment of us finally living together, because we won't live together for probably about another year.
Yeah.
But the level of compromise that we've shown each other throughout this part of our relationship lets me know that even if we live together, we're both very compromising people. We're not selfish by any means. And so, it's going to be a difficult adjustment, just because it's an adjustment anytime you go to live with someone. But we'll work through it, because we always work through everything.
Tell them why people move in together, babe. What they be trying to see?
Usually, if people are moving in together prior to the start of a relationship because they feel, I need to test this relationship out before I officially commit to this person, that means you probably shouldn't be with the person in the first place.
Big facts.
Because there are things that are there that are telling you this might not be the person for me, and you probably should be walking away.
Right.
You shouldn't need to test your relationship in that aspect, because if someone is for you and you guys have an amazing relationship, the fear of living together because you think it may make you incompatible, it shouldn't be there. It wouldn't be there. And if you're feeling that need to live with someone prior to starting or marrying them and being with them for the rest of your life, your relationship probably has some issues already. And you're just hoping that living together will show you something different. And it typically does not.
Big facts.
No. Ella's over here yawning.
Somebody kept me up all night.
We did. We had a long night.
Got me up all night. Yeah.
We had a long night of consummation.
Oh, man. I'm sleeping.
Very long night.
Over here with my thumb in my mouth.
Oh, so when we post these, it may seem like, of course, they're weeks apart, and we've been married for a couple weeks, and then we just finally consummated. But no, we've only been married, 2 days? 2 days?
2
Yeah,
days.
2 or 3 days. And so we want to try to record the podcast while we're together, because soon we'll be recording them apart.
Facts.
Listen to her. Yawning.
I took out my energy. Shining.
Very long night.
But yeah, we just wanted to come to y'all and talk to you all about distance and how you can make that thing work.
It's hard, but it's possible.
It's definitely possible. And saying goodbye. Oh my goodness.
That's what's happening today.
I'd be sad when I leave my baby.
Today it kind of sucks because usually I take her to the airport and I can't.
Yeah.
Because I have to work until 1900, so she'll be going without me.
That's 7 p.m. for our civilian folks out there that don't know that military time. 7 p.m.
And her flight leaves at 7 p.m.
Yeah, it does.
So I'll see her for another hour. Not even, probably like 45 minutes.
No.
And then I leave to go to work. So
I'll be doing a long walk through security with my head hung. Sad. Yes, I'm my baby.
the unfortunate parts about when we do separate from each other is we don't always know when we're going to see each other again.
Yeah, because of these crazy schedules we have. Well, hers is way more crazy than mine, but since I took so much time off, it'll be a minute for me, but I know that if she can ever duck off and come see me, she will. So I'll be at the ready. So just be optimistic. Just be optimistic.
Always.
We'll see what happens.
But don't be afraid of a long distance relationship.
Oh, yeah.
We met at a distance and we married at a distance. And if the person is worth it, it's worth giving it a shot. Just have a lot of patience. Establish yourself and establish your relationship. And it can work if the other person's as equally committed as you are to actually making it work. So if anybody has any other advice or anything they'd like to share in terms of long distance relationships, or maybe some things that have worked for you, or maybe some things that didn't work so well, or lessons that you learned, please feel free to share.
Oh, yeah. Let us know.
And email us. Let us know how you feel. And if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends. And we will catch you on the next one. Bye.
Out.